Hello everyone and welcome to the Captain's video weblog. We're Wednesday, Wednesday, November the 25th of 2015, and holy shit, Christmas is in a month. It's pretty weird, I gotta say that. I've seen the Christmas decorations in the shopping mall, and I mean all over the town. They've been here for probably 2 or 3 weeks. It's not like in the US where you could say, well, why are you putting holiday stuff right now? Thanksgiving it's not even Thanksgiving yet. We don't have Thanksgiving, so pretty much after Halloween, it's already the preparation for the holidays. I mean, some kids have already sent their letters to Santa Claus in September. I remember that I used to, when I sent my present list to Santa Claus. I used to send it around the end of September, beginning of October, despite the fact that my parents told me, we're not going to see him until November at least. I was like, well, I mean, he's gotta know, because if you meet him and he tells you, well, I don't have the list from your kid, but what do I have to bring him at Christmas? My parents would have been like, well, we don't know. Sorry, Mr. Claus. Well, I mean, we call it Father Christmas, so it's Mr. Christmas, really. But I mean, a couple weeks ago it was pretty weird because the weather was worryingly mild. You know, it wasn't cold. I could have on a sunny afternoon could have gone out with a t-shirt or a polo. I mean, short-sleeved stuff. But now that it's very, very cold, I mean, it's pretty topical. Holidays. It's pretty weird that in a country that prides itself on being, well, I don't think we pride ourselves on being a godless country, but I mean, the US have called us some people on Fox News have called us a godless country, despite the fact that here there's no war on Christmas. Something that's pretty dumb. I mean, if Starbucks wants to remove their Christmas themed cup, they do whatever they want. It's the freedom of expression, guaranteed by the Constitution. Here, I guess, I mean, we are supposedly a country that has the separation of church and state, but I mean, even in my family, where we don't believe in God, we still put the nativity scenes under the Christmas tree. Not really under the Christmas tree, because now we have dogs and cats and, you know, creatures that could eat your little Jesus. So we put them somewhere safe. Though I don't remember us actually putting anything but a Christmas tree and the decorations. Because I mean, it's been 3 or 4 years. Because our big dog, is a piece of shit. Well, and when he was young, on his first year, I think he actually shit under the Christmas tree. He had diarrhea for like 3 weeks. It was something terrible. He was so small, but shit so much. Like, what the hell are you doing, man? It's not supposed to go like that. Dogs. Going back on trust issues, I have some weird. It's a weird thing, really, to have trust issues for people but not because of their political alignment. You know, most of my friends, and that's because we live in southern France, where you either pretty much to the left or very much hard right. Um, and so, a lot of my friends were pretty right wing. I discovered that in high school because I mean in middle school you don't really have your own um, you know your own ideas on politics, and if you think you do, well, you're probably wrong because you don't have a good worldview until you're probably I don't know 15. I mean, when I entered high school, I was 13, and yeah, but yeah, I mean, I've always had very much left wing political ideas. You know, I wouldn't say that I'm a communist, even though I kinda am. I mean, I'm more. When you say communist, most people see Marxism, Leninism, which isn't kind of my thing because, the revolution, huh? Well, I mean, do we really have to go? I mean, with an armed insurrection? I mean, really, if we want to change radically, we kind of need it, but it's a lot of work. Um, let's begin with protests. We're good at protests in France. You know, that's kind of why we're said to be a lazy country, because hey, well, there's protests. Oh, well, I guess we're not working today, huh? The right to be on strike. Great social victory, I guess. Along with paid vacation. 30 days! No, 8 weeks, probably. That's 2 months. Are we? Do we really have the right to 2 months of paid vacation by for a year? That sounds like a lot, but at the same time, 2 months is the time kids take in summer alone. So why not? Yeah. So I had a friend who was really pretty much a Nazi. I mean, I had nationalist friends. I can understand their attachment to the country, you know. I like France too, but not to the point where, well, I mean, throw all the people out. I mean, it's understandable for them. They're Normans and from Brittany, so obviously, yeah. So they're the Frenchest. And the Brittany wasn't part of France until Anne of Brittany married the King of France in the 16th century. It was a duchy, independent duchy of Brittany, which is pretty much why you don't. I mean, it took until recently for the English language to abandon the word Brittany and take up the French word Bretagne. I think it took until we created the regions. So that's the 1980s. Yeah. What else? Yeah. I have a lot of friends that are pretty left wing. But that's, I mean, it's more complicated here, being in a humanities college, where it's more of a, you know, I won't say liberal because liberal sounds pretty right wing to me. American politics sound, it's all right wing, conservatives, liberals, Democrats. Democrats are the center here. That's just how I mean European, I would say, politics work. Though Canada had I mean, most countries really have a sort of bipartisan or tripartisan system that, but with a scope much larger in ideas than the American system. And that's, I mean, that's pretty new. To be fair, that the American system can be is so right wing because John Adams, I think, beat a Republican, no, a Democrat and a socialist in the 1920 elections. I don't think that's John Adams. John Adams is one of the founding fathers of of the United States. No, it's that guy who was also in the family of the, who was a cousin of the Vanderbilt family, who was a descendant from that Ottoman corsair, who wasn't actually Ottoman at all. He was Dutch, and he had been captured in Cartagena, in Spain, by Turk pirates, who brought him to Algiers, where he had been forcefully converted to Islam, and became an Ottoman corsair. And his son, who was his son he had with a Moroccan woman, went to America, became one of the first landowners in on Staten Island, I think, and yeah, he banned slavery, which is pretty ironic considering that his father was a Ottoman pirate. You know, he had slaves himself. Um, yeah, lots of friends that, I mean, if we suddenly decided to have a political argument, I would pretty much want to punch them in the face and knock the teeth down their throat because they're wrong to me on, you know, how the world works. But I mean, they're my friends. They're still my friends. So I mean, for any other kind of stuff, that doesn't matter. I mean, politics are just a thing that, you know, you're saying to stir up some trouble. I remember that there was a comic strip about and that's really telling about how the older generations see us millennials, because I was already a teen, so I understood what was going on, you know, obviously. So there was this comic strip where there were a bunch of teens who were bickering about technology and you know, reality TV, and all that crap that supposedly only us millennials can argue about. Well, it's obviously not the truth, except if you consider that people who are 30 and 30 today are still millennials, which is, I mean, that's kind of, I mean, sure, there were 15 when there was Y2K, but that probably doesn't make them millennials. And suddenly, you know, they were bickering, and suddenly someone said, "Hey, let's have another topic of discussion. Let's talk about politics." And suddenly there was a silence. I feel that it's wrong. I mean, it's kind of become a meme in my family, where if you want to say, hey, unless unlike, you know, you want to say that, hey, you should have some silence in here, and it said, hey, let's talk about politics. Except, I mean, we're very much politically engaged. I don't have the same ideas on some great historical figures as other people in my family. I mean, it's more about, you know, the history of the Soviet Union. So obviously, I don't like Stalin a lot. My grandmother, I think, yeah, um, is still from a time where being communist meant, well, yes, you kind of have to abide to by the word of the biggest man. Uh, So yeah, I mean, sure, he made a lot to stabilize the Soviet Union, but he was also a bureaucrat, which was something that Lenin didn't want to happen to Soviet Union. So yeah, just no, fuck that. That doesn't mean that I like Trotsky and his idea of, yeah, we should really do the revolution all over the world. You got, I mean, I mean, yeah, the countries where socialism has been tried, that didn't work because, well, there were societies that weren't ready for that. You look at Russia before the revolution of October. It was very much a country filled with where the main thing was agriculture. I mean, Marx himself said that, well, I mean, you kind of have to have a strong industry to make the revolution work if you want to do a revolution. So obviously, countries like Germany, France, Great Britain were probably more fit for a communist revolution than Russia or China, except that Mao decided, well, I mean, you've seen how that worked in Russia, so I guess we kind of need to brush up on that, you know, adapt that. Doesn't mean that it worked. I mean, now they're pretty much a capitalist country, but still. North Korea, ooh, let's not talk about that. Vietnam is another thing. Um, they had the resistance in to the Japanese invader in Vietnam during World War II was organized by communists. Uh, so yeah, I mean that kind of became the way to go. Even though I mean, yeah, sure, why not? Um, and then you see, you can just see what happened next. Um I mean, we don't talk a lot about Vietnam, but it's not the Soviet Union because they realized that, yeah, well, we kind of need Buddhism and all that. But well, I mean, because they saw what happened in China, where they said, hey, religion is the opium of the people and should be banned. Yeah. Um, I mean, it's not a religion where everyone can have. It's communism. It's not a religion, but so interpretation is. I mean, it's more difficult because the founding texts, the scriptures. Whoa, that's not. That's not. Let's not talk about scriptures. Ew. Um, it's I mean it's much closer to us, so there, and plus Marx, Engels, they were using a vocabulary that's really, I mean, it's not changed a lot. Maybe some words have been lost in the sense of some words has been lost in translation because, wow, German, a crazy, crazy precise language, huh? I mean, that's the mirror of the German society, to be totally honest. um, yeah. So that's pretty much everything I had to say today, I guess. Christmas, 1 month. That's cool. I like Christmas. I mean, it's become a bit sad because uh, everyone moves out, everyone becomes an adult, so obviously there's not the same amount of excitement around unwrapping the presents. I mean, I'm still pretty hyped. Oh my god, it's almost midnight. Woo woo! What am I gonna get? I'm legit hyped for that. Um, as I was legit hyped for the new Digimon movie, which was pretty good. I mean, the style, it will probably take another movie to for me to get used to it, but I can dig it. I mean, fucking Tai Chi. It's hard. Also, going back to the original Japanese names when all you've known about adventure is the dub. Oh god damn it. So yeah, Taichi, Yamato, which is strange. Yamato, his name is written in katakana, whereas everybody else, except Mimi, has their name written in kanji. Taichi, Sora, Joe, Izumi, no, Koshiro. God damn it, always. So yeah, his name is Koshiro. Why not? Who else? Hikari, Takeru. Who am I forgetting right now? There's Taichi, Yamato, Sora, Koshiro, Joe, Mimi, Takeru, Hikari. No, there's the zero two team. Daisuke, Miyako, Yori, and Ken. But I mean, they've been something happened to them. I'm still not convinced totally what. I've seen the poster of the second movie where there's Vaikmon and Rosemon, which are the mega evolutions of respectively Gomamon and Palmon. Yeah. Are they doing a Mimi Joe movie? Are they going that way despite the fact that Joe dated Miyako's sister? There's something on the wiki about that. But it's heavily hinted that Toei here is going for a gay end for... No, I'm sorry, that's not true. A gay end between Yamato and Taichi. That's not true. I mean, I'm still mad about Sorato, because I'm a huge Taira fan, and they're going for a Mimi Koshiro end. What? But yeah, so Vaikmon and Rosemon are just fucking up Imperial Dramon, which is understandable since Imperial Dramon is a very, very, very weak mega ultimate. I mean, even Zudomon is stronger than him, and the only time we've seen Zudomon be overpowered by a Digimon that Imperial Dramon fought, it was the time where Zudomon had spent so much time in the real world that the Gomamon, well, the Digimon, had spent so much time in the real world that, well, he was drained. Yeah. So yeah, there's still the hype for me. Apparently, I'm the only one in my family who's hyped for Christmas. Somehow. That's sad. I like Christmas. Maybe mainly because, yeah, all the family, yeah. New Year's is different. I felt that it was a kind of, oh, it's well, you have the double tap, Christmas, New Year's. And New Year's was just, well, you've had one evening to stay awake, now have a second one. And yeah, but New Year's was pretty sad. I mean, I spent the first day, the first hours of 2015 on my computer typing some shit about the third impact, reblogging and retweeting stuff. I also watched an idol concert and some Minecraft videos. So yeah, that's how sad my New Year's Eve was. I spent the evening in pajamas watching a novelty comedy show. So that wasn't all bad. I kind of wish I could have spent it with friends. Except said friends are spend the evening with their friends, and I don't know those friends. Oh well, it's going off again. Yeah, turns out it gets pretty cold pretty fast. You fucking shit heater fan. It turns off when he says, "Yeah, it's hot enough." So anyway, thanks for watching. See you tomorrow. Goodbye. I guess. I mean, I spent too much time going on stuff that wasn't really important. God, that means that 1 week from today is begins the last month of the year. December. Do you remember? Do you remember the time? December? No, that's September. I know it. Goodbye. Oh yeah.